So let's today touch on the anxious preoccupied. Now, the anxious preoccupied is the love addict of all the attachments. It's the attachment which anybody who's obviously anxious preoccupied, they crave and need love more than any other attachment. Um, they find it very hard to self-soothe, basically, so they use their partner to give them validation, so that it creates that security in themselves. Now, obviously, it stems from childhood where they had to use that kind of technique of love to get love. So that's why anxious preoccupied are quite people pleasers, because they feel that obviously that is something they have to do. It's like an insecurity that they've got, and they use that basically needing their partner to validate what they should validate themselves. So what it looks like is the anxious preoccupied, um, in a relationship, they'll be quite needy, quite clingy. They'll need constant reassurance from the partner all the time. And this can be quite annoying for the partner because obviously every attachment's different. And the anxious preoccupied person is looking at it from their own perspective, so they don't realise in that moment that other attachments are going to act differently. So you kind of thinking, well, why can't they just do what I'm thinking, so to speak? So your needs as an anxious preoccupied is your own needs. Other attachments have got their own needs, and of course it's all conjoined together in a way as well, in different ways. But with the anxious preoccupied, they are the love addict. They're the ones that need the reassurance, the love. And what that does, it gives you security in yourself from your partner. So if your partner is giving you validation all the time, they're giving you that reassurance, that security. The anxious preoccupied, believe it or not, I mean, this is contrary to a lot of what people actually think, that the anxious preoccupied needs constant reassurance. And yeah, that is true. But if their partner shows up in a way that the anxious preoccupied has sort of stated to the partner that, can you do this or can you do that, then it actually soothes them that much that they're quite happy knowing that as long as there's that certainty that they're going to get, they're quite actually relaxed in themselves. Which a lot of people don't realise. They think that the anxious preoccupied is just going to be calling, messaging, texting all the time. And yeah, of course, they are the most prominent ones of all the attachments to do that, because they need that constant reassurance. But if the partner gives that security, then they're actually quite happy to be within themselves, so to speak, for a little while without reaching out all the time, because they know that the partner's there, they're not going anywhere. Because that's the thing about the anxious preoccupied, they're actually scared of losing the partner. So what that means is basically the anxious preoccupied will be that scared of losing the partner that's why they're always reaching out, because they think, oh my god, if I don't reach out then they're going to leave, so I need to put my needs second to theirs, which actually for the partner is exactly the opposite to what they want. Obviously the partner does not want codependency and have to sort of be the one that soothes the partner rather than the partner soothe themselves. So that can cause a little bit of issues. But as long as the partner is understanding of the actual attachment of anxious preoccupied, and they look into it themselves and realise that they've got their own needs and the anxious is going to have their needs as well. So it's give and take, and that's how you grow together basically, is you understand each other and where your strengths and weaknesses are basically. Now, the anxious preoccupied, They're very, very, very hypervigilant. Very hypervigilant. Now, if their partner sends a text message and say that the anxious preoccupied has sent a message before and it's full of love language, and you don't get the same mirror image of that message back, the anxious preoccupied will internally look into that and think, oh my God, they can see what I've just put. They can see the love language, and yet they've put something there and they've not touched on that. And that's the anxious preoccupied not looking at the partner's attachment and how they act to certain things. And the thing is, the partner actually will show love language and love all the time. But obviously they can't do that all the time because that would be just not healthy. And obviously everyone's got different things going on in their lives. You could be working, could be busy doing things, could be stressed. But the anxious preoccupied thinks, why are they not doing that? And it just drives the anxious preoccupied crazy. Seriously, they'll get angry and angrier and feel like the partner doesn't love them and they're going to just go away and, oh, they're bound to leave me, they're not respecting me, and that's the internal struggles an anxious preoccupied will feel quite regular. I mean, obviously, with time, that improves with therapy or self-help. If you notice your strengths and weaknesses and how your core wounds can react to different attachments, then you can have more knowledge yourself, and of course that will improve. So when you get angry, then you think, okay, just take a step back, let me think about this. Am I being irrational here? Am I just being a little bit OTT? And 99.9% you are being completely over the top. Now, your initial emotional reaction will be to just go absolutely berserk, spit feathers. You want to message your partner, say, you don't love me, why are you doing this? This is not right. You just internally just want to reach out and just say how you feel. Because the anxious preoccupied, it builds up in your nervous system over time. So even if you don't say it there and then, and you probably are better saying it there and then after you've sort of calmed down, and then can say things like, look, that kind of upset me, but in a rational, pleasant way, rather than just like rah, rah, and just attacking the partner, and then they're going to back off because nobody likes that sort of criticism, so they'll back off. So the best thing to do is take a step back, think, am I being rational, irrational? Then speak with the partner, say, oh, that upset me. And your partner will be understanding because they know your attachment. But what the anxious preoccupied will do is, if they keep it to themselves, that inner turmoil will just build. And what will happen is it'll just come out in a very, very unhealthy way. So it'll all just come out, and they'll just have a hissy fit. Everything will come out. It could be hours later, the next day, but it'll constantly be on the anxious preoccupied's mind. It never leaves. The thing that you're thinking about that's really upset you, it stays with you. You might not say it straight away, but it'll come out in a negative way if you don't do it properly. And the hurt and the feel of abandonment and your partner doesn't love you, it will explode into like a protest. You'll just be like, you're not doing this, you're not doing that, and you'll just attack your partner and with words, and you'll just, not in a nasty way, but in a very unhealthy way, sort of accusing. So that is not healthy. So you need to regulate your nervous system. You need to take a deep breath, think logically, am I being rational? Excuse me. And if you're being irrational or irrational, then you know how to deal with it. Now, the anxious preoccupied, what they'll also tend to do is they need love, respect, and desire. Um, all of this is part of the love bubble, so to speak. Now, the anxious preoccupied will expect the partner just to give this all the time. So it's kind of like the when you first start dating and you've got that honeymoon stage and it's all love this and desire this and that. Then obviously after the honeymoon stage of a relationship, when things start to settle down, the anxious preoccupied still wants to carry that on. They're in that bubble of like just absolute love and lust and oh my god, my partner's just the best thing since sliced bread. And they can't regulate their own self. Now the partner is probably, depending on their attachment, settle down a little bit more. Not comfortable, but that safety of trust, love, and don't feel that the need to do that like every second and minute every day. But the anxious preoccupied is still in that sort of 2 to 6 month period where it's just absolute. You just want each other in every way. And of course, that can't continue for the rest of your lives. You've gonna always have that, but it has to settle down into normality. But the anxious preoccupied doesn't deal with that very well. They constantly need that honeymoon sort of dopamine hit of that sort of longing of love and lust and romance and because the anxious preoccupied, a bit like the fearful avoidant, they've got this perception of love which is it's like a fairy tale, the love story. Now with this, what you need to realize is that real life, you're going to face issues and problems. So knowing this, it will help in the long term to realize actually, yeah, things are going to be like that. Things are going to be like a fairy tale where it's love, passion, but also normal day life is not like a film. So you need to realize that, and obviously with that, understanding of yourself and your partner, and that will just give you really good perspective for the future. What also the anxious preoccupied will do is they're going to lash out at times because they get that heated emotional passion inside them. But what they do is to test the partner as well, a bit like the fearful avoidant will test their partner too in a different way. I mean, they test their partner because they've got trust issues. But with the anxious preoccupied, what they'll do is they'll test the partner to see if they love them. So they'll be like asking questions and, like, oh, you're off to a party, are you? All right. Oh, Gary's at the party, is he? Oh, Gary. Oh, Gary's a bit hunky, isn't he? So what will happen is you'll be asking questions and you'll be trying to like delve into the whole picture of what's happening. But it'll be obvious you're fishing for little things that you can use in your own mind to think, is this situation going to be dangerous for myself? Because you've got that insecurity, you see your partner, you put them on a pedestal. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they should be, but you should be on the pedestal with them. So that's another thing you've got to learn, is you need to self-soothe yourself first so that you can give everything to your partner too, so you're both together. And rather than be codependent, you're actually going to be interdependency, which is obviously the healthy way to do it. Now, obviously, all the insecure attachments have that. It's the secure one that, has the interdependency, and they're quite happy to let the partner do what they want because they know the partner will come back at the end of the day, and they've got no concerns, no jealousy. Jealousy is another thing that the anxious preoccupied gets. It depends how far you are in your process, really. If you're really bad, it is going to be overwhelming for your partner. if, I mean, like myself, I'm not too bad with that. I mean, I do get jealous and I do get very emotional, like asking questions and or wondering what they're doing. You know, you see, that's one thing about the anxious preoccupied. You create a story in your mind, so you'll see a little thing that your partner's doing, and you'll just jump to conclusions of what that means. It's from your own insecurity, so you look at such a tiny bit of evidence, and there's nothing to it. There's no evidence there really, but you'll see a little bit. Maybe if it's a message, or they're saying they're going to do something, or maybe you've not heard from them for a bit. You'll create a story in your head of what they're actually doing, and then you just start, your nervous system will just go berserk. You'll lash out at your partner saying, oh, why are you doing this or that, and then they'll prove that everything you've just thought is wrong. I mean, it literally, that's the thing, is an anxious preoccupied. You need to realise that the evidence has always been proven wrong. Everything that you think they've proven to you is completely wrong. But yet you still do it. You still come up with these thoughts in your head. But with reprogramming and positive thoughts, think about what your partner does, how they show up, how everything they say is true. That gives you that stability to move forward. Gives you that security, reassurance, and with constant positive affirmation, you will get better and better and better, and you will start to self-soothe yourself, not rely on your partner. That will be better for your partner as well, and it'll just be a healthier relationship. So let me know what you think. Comment, like, subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, we'll do the other attachments and do them one by one. So thanks a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.